So many Glocks! Whoa! Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to discuss the Glock pistol. Not actually an in-depth review, but actually Glocks all look very similar, as I'm sure you guys are aware, as you can see right here. And when I was looking to buy one, I actually was going back and forward. Do I want a 19? Do I want a 17? Do I want an 18C? So I thought actually I would just give you guys a bit of a close-up look, what I like about each one, what I don't like about each one. And this isn't real steel, so it's not like, oh, the longer barrel is going to give you better performance. You know, there's not changes like it is there. So the actual feel of it, the aesthetics of it, I think in Airsoft are really what matter. So I'm going to run through these quickly, guys. Hopefully you find some value, and eventually I'm going to end up talking about this, what I choose to run as my Glock and why I've got there and why I'm obsessed with it. So what I'm going to do, guys, first of all, is start off with your regular Glock. What everyone uses, or not everyone uses, but the standard Glock, the Glock 17. Now, this is a model from Elite Force, Umarex. It is actually got a Talon grip on it. So if you bought one right now, it is not going to seem exactly like that. This is a grip that I absolutely love. I'll put a link below, but they're from Amazon. They're about $20. Instead of stippling, which actually I have on a real steel firearm I have, this is actually, I find, a lot better. I don't know, it's kind of like grip tape from a skateboard, but let's put that to the side. This is the Glock 17. It's the Gen 4, so you can always tell with a Gen 3 and a Gen 4, you kind of have these little grooves where you put your fingers into. And this is your full-size Glock, which means it's a full-size slide, it's a full-sized pistol grip, so it is going to fit your hand pretty well. If you've seen Glocks in TV shows, in movies, the chances are it's a Glock 17. Now, I really like this. It's kind of, as I said, the most popular one. This one from Elite Force has a metal slide, so it is your kind of what would be close to a real steel, polymer body, metal slide. It has also got the Picatinny rail underneath, which I'll go through in a second, but I actually think that this is quite an awesome thing to have on a pistol and one of the real advantages to have on a Glock. But I like it. What I would say is when I was looking to buy, I was thinking, you know what, I like a compact pistol. If I'm going to run my primary as my main thing and I want a pistol, I don't necessarily want something that is that big, that when it's on a holster on my side, it gets in the way and it's annoying. Plus, if I'm drawing it, it's got a very long barrel, so it's not actually easy to maneuver. However, this is fantastic, guys. If you're looking to buy a Glock, Elite Force Umarex, the performance is amazing. They're incredibly snappy, and so I can't really say bad things about it, but it's not my favorite Glock. I'll show you guys quickly what this one sounds like, because I think that's of value to you too. But these will take all standard Glock mags. So normally in Airsoft, if you're buying a Glock, I would say it's worthwhile buying a better mag because it's really going to affect your performance. But these standard kind of Glock mags are going to work probably in almost every Glock pistol you have. I have had issues sometimes where the slide doesn't lock back, but this is, in my opinion, a very snappy pistol. You get the slide lock, obviously, your standard. I'll go through this on one, so I don't have to for every single one. You've got your Glock style trigger, which when the action is not racked, that is the trigger's holding back there. Once you rack the actual slide, it'll kind of show you that it's actually been racked and it's ready to fire, because that trigger comes forward. It's got the Glock style trigger, so you have a little trigger point here, a little indent that you push in. If I don't push that in, I can't pull the trigger. If I do, it'll pull. But that is your kind of standard. It's basically what you're going to see on all of these Glocks. But this is, you can see there, it didn't lock back because this is not a Glock issued mag for the Elite Force. But this is what it sounds like. You see, it's got a great blowback action. It's really quite snappy sounding. If I lock the slide back here, it's actually going to hold it. So if I change the mag, boom, put a new one in, right, and then I'm done. So I like this, guys. If you're looking to get a Glock, if you want something that's going to do most stuff, it's going to take all regular Glock mags. It's a Glock 17. TM make them. Elite Force make them. There's a lot of other retailers. But that is your standard Glock. So most of you will have an opinion or a thought on that. Now, this is the next one. This is the Glock 18C. This is actually one from WE. I've never used this in game. It does not have the Glock trademarks on it. So if I was going to get one, this is going to be cheaper. I can't remember. It's probably about $100, $120 this. It does come with a metal slide, which is good. This actually has a bit of a cutout. I'm sorry I don't have a regular Glock 18C to show you guys, but it has the standard size, full size Glock 17 pistol grip. So that feels very similar. The big difference with this one is this switch right here. So it has semi and it has full auto. So if you are going to use this pistol, obviously normally I would expect that you would use this semi-automatic because that's generally what you're going to do with a firearm, with a sidearm, especially when the actual sidearm has only got this many rounds. You know, you've probably got 20 rounds in these mags. And so firing at full auto is not going to be something you do very often, but the functionality is cool. You get a full auto pistol without really adding extra stuff to it. A lot of the sites that I play at, if you're doing close quarters and you're inside, you cannot use full auto. So again, it depends on where you're playing, but this is something you can get. It's probably going to be slightly more expensive. This is the standard grip that you're going to see on it, but this does not have the Glock trademarks, which I like. I don't think they're that important for most people, but if you're a real steel aficionado, you may like that. This is the Gen 3 model. So again, it's got the kind of grips where your fingers fit into it. I'll show you what this one sounds like on semi. So it's kind of a similar kind of feeling. It does feel like it's a little bit of a less of a pushback or a recoil. That might be because of the slide being cut out. And on full auto, I'll try and hold this. Now I need to put more gas in this mag, but that's kind of what you're looking like for your full auto on the Glock 18C. Again, it's very cool, but for me, it's not something I would use. It's not something, I mean, it's a good fire selector where you could actually do that with your thumb, but it's not something that I found that practical. So I decided not to go for that, but that is your Glock 18C, another style of Glock you can have. This, actually I'm gonna go with this next. This is the Glock 19. So this and the Glock 17 are the most popular style of Glocks that you can get hold of. This is effectively your compact Glock. So I'll show you against the 17, but this basically has a shorter slide to it and a shorter pistol grip. That is the 17 behind it. So you can see here that the slide is a bit longer here. You've got kind of more of a, I'll show you that way, it's probably easier. You got more of there, and then if you look at the actual pistol grip, similarly, you do not have the full length pistol grip. So it's your compact Glock. A lot of people like these. I think in the real steel market in the US, this might actually be the most popular Glock because obviously it's not as big as that, and you kind of do have some or a lot of the same functionality. This I really liked the look of. So when I saw a Glock out of a 17 or a 19, I was like, look, I'd take a 17. Sorry, I'd take a 19 because actually I think I like it being a bit smaller. If I'm going into a building, I don't need the full length. It's not like that added barrel length with a real steel gun is going to give you more accuracy. So I decided that I would go for this. So I bought this, and I have to say, I really like it. And I think a lot of people who I know who have them like it, but it was not the one that I ended up going with. Again, this has got the Picatinny on the bottom. I'll show you kind of where that's really useful. If I can get this on. You can kind of mount stuff like that, which is a TLR1 flashlight to it. It's good to be able to have that. You can put lasers on, you can have flashlights. This is a big one, and actually I would say that looks more normal on a Glock 17 because the barrel's almost in line with it. But this is functional. You know, you could use this anywhere. The actual flashlight allows you to do things like this. So this is a Kydex Glock holster, which has got the TLR1 light, which is this one, fitting. So I can just slide that in and the actual light holds it in place. The Glock style slides are generally the same, but this is a great pistol. My main issue with it is how big that this is, which is the pistol grip. Now, it's not, my hands are pretty big. It is bigger, you know, than the actual grip when I'm holding it like that. That I don't feel is a real issue. What I do find though is my finger, for some reason, tends to clip on this mag release because I'm kind of squeezing my hand up into it. And so I would have situations where it actually releases the mag when I'm in game, and so I really didn't like that, which is why I ended up moving away from the Glock 19. Now, the other thing which I find kind of annoying, it's not that bad, I think, generally, but the Glock 19 actually has smaller mags than your standard Glock 17 mags. So again, I'll show you guys a comparison in size there. The thing with the Glock 17 mag, which is great, is you can fit it in a Glock 19. So it looks a bit weird, it hangs out the bottom, but you can fit it in any Glock because it is slightly larger. Nearly all of these have the same input, whether it's a Tokyo Marui, whether it's an Elite Force like this one is. Obviously, it's good to be able to do that. I think it's, you know, if you're running extra mags, it's not like you have to worry. But when you've got a Glock 19 and you've bought these Glock 19 mags, they look great in a Glock 19. However, if I'm going to play a game and I'm thinking, right, I need my Glock mags, I have to double check that I'm not carrying and bringing Glock 19 mags if I'm taking a 17, because this is too short. It's not going to sit in place and it's not going to fire. So I don't like the smaller mags. I think some people will. If you've got smaller hands, if you're younger, if you want to play with a slightly kind of more compact Glock, it's great. But for me, it didn't fit with what I wanted. This is a Gen 3, kind of got the stippling, sorry, the finger grooves here. This one actually is how it would come. I haven't put the Talon grip plate on this, the sticker on the top. So that's basically what it would look like as you get it. Great pistol, Elite Force, super snappy, but for me, it's not the one I went for. But one before the last I'm going to talk about is this. Now, this is actually a pistol that I used for a very long time. I've actually gone away from it now, but you're probably thinking, you didn't want a compact one. Why have you gone with this? This is a copy of the Glock 26, so it is even smaller than the 19 and a lot smaller than the 17, as you can see. But why I really liked this is because it is such a short barrel. It's basically finger length. And so if I was going towards a building, playing outside Airsoft, and I wanted to draw my sidearm, I would actually love this because it basically was, I would just point. I would come around a corner pointing. It's so short that actually you can just literally almost point at someone with it and just pull the trigger. This one is from Tokyo Marui, so it's different. And the main difference I would say with Tokyo Marui Glocks is the slides are plastic. Now you're not going to really notice it, I don't think, most of the time, but it is plastic. It's probably not going to wear in the same way or last as long necessarily as your metal slides are. But I really do like the actual ergonomics of this for some reason. It is similar where my hand gets close to the mag release, but for some reason it's not an issue. And I do quite like these. These are your compact Glock 26 mags. They have like a little kind of finger extension on them. So when it's in there, I would say the actual length of this is very similar to the Glock 19. It feels kind of similar there. It does cut in more on your palm, but actually just because of the shorter barrel length, I actually really kind of liked, you know, that was more of an advantage to me than having a compact Glock for no real reason. So I was using this for a long time. A friend of mine in the team I play for had one, and he was literally testing it out. And he was like, this thing actually hops 0.32 gram BBs, which for a pistol is pretty heavy. These do as well, but for a compact Tokyo Marui pistol that's meant to be fired on a gas less powerful, duster gas, or something that's less powerful than green gas, I was amazed. I run 0.32 pistols, 0.32 BBs in nearly all of my assault rifles, all my primary weapons. That's generally what I go for. So not having to find lighter ammo to put in it was fantastic. Now, there were a few things that I didn't like as much on this, and I think that you guys should be made aware of these. I have kind of put a Talon's grip on it. This is a Gen 3. This is not quite as cool, this grip. It's not got the same texture. It's more kind of rubbery, and I don't like it as much, but it does give you more of a purchase on the actual firearm. This does not have the Picatinny rail. Now, this really in real life is a very compact concealed carry gun. I've actually got a real one of these, and when I bought it, I thought I would like it as much as this. I don't, because of the fact that your palm is here and the recoil on the real one rips it up and it really pulls into your palm. This one doesn't have that because it is a airsoft gun, so the recoil on it's not nearly as much. But the big things for me was no Picatinny rail on the bottom, and the actual Tokyo Marui version of this Glock does not have the standard Glock style trigger. So normally if this is not racked, which it's not right now, that trigger should be back in that position. And when I rack it, it should come forward and I should know that it's in place. It has the standard Glock, indent to actually the Glock style safety, so that I need to press that in order to pull the action. But it doesn't have the normal kind of Glock trigger, which does that. To give you an example, I'll show you on the 19 here. That's where the trigger is normally. If I rack it, that's where the trigger is going to be. And so I know that it's primed and ready to go. Pull the trigger, it stays back. With this one, the trigger's up there. So it's very hard to know. I mean, in Airsoft, I don't think it's as bad, so I would double check. But if I couldn't remember at the start of the game, if I had racked this into place, it was kind of annoying. So that is one thing I don't really like. And the other thing is this, which is the safety. That actually stops the trigger. So it might be safer maybe, but I really don't like that that is not true to what a Glock does. And that is a serial number that's been turned into a safety where it actually slides up and down. I don't like that either. So those for me were the two things which probably pushed me away from this. But I have to say the compact nature of it is amazing. When you've got the mags in your battle belt, the actual mags will basically just sit to that point, and then you've basically just got this little hook to pull out, so it's so easy to carry around. Again, this thing is going to take any Glock mag because it's so small. There's a 17, sorry, that's a 19. There's a 17, and so if you want some more ammo and you want to put bigger mags in your actual pouch, in your mag pouches, you can do it. So I do think that that is a pretty fantastic pistol. It's very hard to get them in the US, however. It's about $120, but you will have to import them, basically because Tokyo Marui aren't allowed to do this. They did not pay for the rights to use the branding of Glock on them, and so just did it anyway. So for US retailers to carry these is very tough. However, you can normally order them from another country, and a lot of the time, like when I ordered this one, they will come with black stickers over these trades so they don't get flagged and they don't get said, hey, this is a IP infliction, so therefore we're going to seize it at the border. But it is it's something which you can get hold of. Message me if you're struggling. I don't necessarily know if you can get it from the same place that I did, but you can get hold of them. Now this, of course, does have the slide rack. It's a plastic slide, so I would say it's not quite the same feeling as kind of when you've got the metal going back and forward. This is the sound of it firing. Super snappy again, but it's not quite got that ting, which is that kind of Glock, metal slide where it's hitting back. Anyway, guys, I love this thing, but I have to say I'm not using it nearly as much. Now, the reason I don't use it as much is that I have ended up going for what I think is the best of both worlds between the 17 and the 19. And that, for me, is I like the short, compact slide of the 19. However, I do not like how short the actual pistol grip is. So enter the Glock 45. Now this, I didn't really know about, and I don't see many people talking about it or using it. This is a Gen 5, and you can tell that because it does not have any of the finger grooves here. I actually like the Gen 5s. I didn't think I would, but when I hold them, especially with this Talon's grip on it, I'm not sponsored by Talon Grip. This is just what I've really loved. You actually heat gun it, you can put it around, it basically on this one kind of covers the whole thing. So when I've got gloves on, it's just solid in my hand. And so what this has is it's got the full size pistol grip of a 17. So my hands, which are bigger, can actually hold it and fit it. However, it's not got the full length slide and barrel. So it's got a smaller actual slide. So it's more portable, more maneuverable. When I've got it on my side holster, it's not like it feels it's getting in the way because actually the grip is out the back. And this will take your normal Glock 17 mags. So it takes the 17 mags. It kind of is like a regular Glock, but it's got this shortened slide to it. So for me, the Gen 5 means it's got the flared mag well. I'm obsessed with this pistol. And when people see it, they ask me, what is this? Have you got a Glock 17 there? It looks like a Glock 19. What is that? And it is hard sometimes to tell, but you've got the Picatinny rails on it. You can do whatever you want. This is something that I actually run on this one. which is a TLR1 flashlight, and you can again just put these into, this is a T-Rex arm, so a real steel holster, but you can put it into here. It actually attaches basically to the light just with that Glock slide upper, so any real Glock, probably the 17 will fit in that, the 19, because it just clamps onto this light. So I would say that's another thing I would recommend. If you're going to have 1 or 2 Glocks and you've got a light you're going to run on both of them, this is pretty great. I'll give you a quick demonstration of this as well, guys. That's you flick this thing down and it basically will put the light on. You flick it up and it's kind of like a touch to do it. If I double do it like that, it gives me strobe, and if I go down twice, it will stay strobe like that. And so this is so bright. So if you are playing inside and you're wanting to really have an advantage over who you're playing against, the light in their face as you're coming around a corner or as you're pointing it at them is so hard to tell where to aim at. So this, I think, is a really great addition, and it's something you can't do on this 26. So even though it's great CQB, you can't do it. And so with me, I get the extended, the larger full-size pistol grip, I get the shorter slide, and I get the ability to mount what I want to mount. Now, this is something on this one I have, which you will not get as standard. Again, this is Elite Force Umarex. You can change out the barrels, and you can change out a lot of the parts. Glocks, you know, because they're so interchangeable, there's a huge amount of upgrade stuff you can get. But this this threaded barrel at the end I got, and reason I got it is because I wanted to put one of these on it. Again, you're probably thinking, Badger, you're so dumb. If you want to get a shorter barrel, why would you want to stick a silencer on it? The reason that I want to do that is because it gives me the ability to put a tracer unit. Now, this looks like a silencer. It has a light inside. So when I fire tracer BBs that will absorb light, it will fire green or red BBs out the end so I can trace it. So when I was playing inside, and I've been doing more of that recently, I can basically stick a light on, and as I'm firing, I can see the BBs actually flying out the end. And so that usability with the shorter slide, I really like. I also think that if the 17's got the fluted barrel, this is going to be an extra, you know, it's going to be a pretty hefty, where are we looking like? That's going to be the extra length of it, which is pretty long. So this is what I've now gone to using, guys. And this is actually one, I'll give you guys the firing of this. You can hear how snappy that is. It's awesome. But I'm absolutely obsessed with these, and the reason I'm obsessed with it I've already spoken about. I'm so obsessed with them that I've actually built out my primary, secondary, my pistol that I use nearly on everything, which I'm going to show you now. This is my baby. I'm completely in love with it, and it is the Glock 45, but I've put some pretty awesome stuff on it and I've changed it out quite a bit. So I'll run you through this quickly, guys, but if you have the money, the time to do one of these, feel free to copy it, ask me any questions, but this thing is absolutely amazing. So what I've done, guys, on this one is it's the same. It's got the Talon, so Gen 5 again, it's got the Talon grip tape on it so that I just feel like this is so solid when I've got it in. Takes the regular Glock 17 mags, so I had a load of those from other Glocks that I already had. What I have done on this is there is a company called Boom Arms. I believe they're based in Hong Kong. They make different slides. This is still branded Glock 45, but this is not the original slide. This is an aluminium slide, so it should make it a bit lighter and snappier. But the big thing is it's RMR cut. And so that allows me to put a red dot directly onto the slide. And I wasn't sure how much I liked red dots, but with this red dot, and I'll try and get you guys a view of it right now. Hold on, this is hard to do. There we go. There's a red dot. It's hard to kind of gauge on the camera. But really what I would do normally is I shoot from muscle memory. And now if I get quick up and I can take that red dot and I can get it into my sight, it's so accurate. I can actually use it. And this is a very, very expensive sight. So I put a Trigicon SRO on this. And so this sight is more expensive, probably twice than the actual gun is. But because I have this plate on here with this Boom Arms aluminium slide. It basically means that I can move this onto any single Glock or RMR slide mounted pistol. So I thought it was worth it. I'm going to use it on a real steel. So this is very, very expensive. If you want to look it up, look it up. I'm not going to tell you the price of it now. I've got a lens protector on the front because obviously this is expensive. I do not want that to get shot out. And obviously it's quite protruding on the top of the pistol. Now this is similar to the TLR one. It's the same company, it's Streamlight that have made it, but this is actually the TLR 8G. Now, I love it because it's really made for a Glock 19. So it keeps the actual profile of the pistol solid like that. It doesn't feel like it adds much weight to it. This is the button here. So instead of having this kind of push lever, you actually have this, which is your kind of pressure pad. So when I do that, you can see that this actually is a light. And the big thing that I love on this is that's a laser. So I've got a green laser. It's the TLR 8G, this model. The G is for the green laser. And it means that I can basically have my red dot, and I can also have a laser that I pull up to see exactly where I'm going to shoot. It's faster than drawing the red dot, but obviously if I'm playing in the day, it's not that usable. You know, a laser you can't really see, especially a green one. The red dot I can always see, I can always use it. But that is, at the moment, my dream pistol. I absolutely love this thing, and I am going to find it very difficult not to use this in any game, I think, going forward. The only thing that I don't have on this is the threaded barrel to put the silencer on, but I could actually change it out, the outer barrel to do that. I haven't done it yet, but it might be something I do. But this, guys, is what I'm completely obsessed with. If you want to know the price of it and what I've spent on it, leave me a comment or send me a message and I'll try and tell you guys about that. But I hope that this has been value for you. You know, we've looked at the 19, the 26, the 45 with a fluted barrel, with a barrel extension on it, the 18 and the 17, and then looked at my prized possession right here. If you guys, as I said, have any questions, I'll let you hear this fire. So you can see here that actually the sight is very easy, but this is what it sounds like when it fires. Awesome, absolutely love it. But anyway, guys, yeah, if you have any questions, you want to see any more of this, let me know. I'm going to be back tomorrow with another video, and I'm going to find another topic to discuss for you guys. I'm always looking for ideas. So have a great rest of the day wherever you are. I've been 6mil Badger. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.